Let's test cheap colored pencils versus expensive colored pencils and see just how big of a difference there's gonna be. But first, like always, we first need to create a drawing to use the colored pencils on. So first of all, I used my trusted ruler to put a middle line on the paper. Like usually, I start with some very basic shapes to make drawing a lot easier. Simplifying drawings by using basic shapes is a rule you can use for all of your drawings, by the way. The last time I tried a challenge like this one, I compared cheap markers to expensive markers, and I drew Goku in Super Saiyan 4. That video also turned out really crazy. So that's why I thought I'd do this again, and this time I'm drawing Vegeta. I know that he's a huge fan favorite, and as a Dragon Ball fan in general, you just absolutely love him, myself included. And that's exactly why I'm trying extra hard on this drawing. And I really gotta say, it turned out absolutely crazy. So you should definitely stay till the end. Also, I can highly recommend slightly erasing your sketches before you start your satisfying lining process. I can also highly recommend trying to use your natural hand movement while lining. Readjusting the sheet of paper so it fits your natural movement can really help here. Anyways, now that the lining is done, it is now finally time to color the left side of the drawing with the cheap colored pencils. But first, let me tell you how I even got the cheap colored pencils in the first place. So I was just scrolling through Amazon, searching for new art supplies as usual. This time for colored pencils. But then I remembered my bank balance and of course had to pick according to the budget. I then discovered these really cheap Faber-Castell colored pencils, which were even on sale. And I also remembered that I used to use Faber-Castell colored pencils back in school as well. So that's why they were an immediate call. That gets us right back to where we were. And now finally, let's come to the cheap colored pencil side first. The cheap colored pencils come with 12 pencils. But since I never used them before, I still decided to just swatch them out. It's always great to see how your colored pencils or any art medium in general looks like on paper. I actually gotta say, the colors look a lot more vibrant than I thought. And now, we can finally get to the actual drawing. In general, I started off with the rather dark colors and applied a lot less pressure towards the areas that are supposed to be lighter. That way, blending the colors is a lot easier afterwards. Additionally, when using the lightest colored pencils in each area of the drawing, I just left out all of the spots that are supposed to be highlighted without any color at all, since this way I can work around not having a white colored pencil here. Also, for some reason I have to say, I somehow really love how the yellow parts of Vegeta's armor turned out. By the way, just curious, do you prefer Vegeta's old armor or his new one? I actually hear some people say the new one is better, but comment down below what you think. I also really love how his blue hair turned out. It really got extremely vibrant, and arguably you could also say that it might be even better than the expensive colored pencil side. But I guess you will just have to see for yourself. Anyways, the cheap colored pencil side actually turned out a lot smoother than I thought. And by the way, I've linked both the Prismacolor colored pencils and also the cheap Faber-Castell colored pencils in the bio. So if at the end of the video you decide to get either of these, you can just click the links and then get there instantly. You'll also be able to find links to all the other art supplies I usually use. But now, it's finally time to get to the expensive colored pencils. These are the Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. What I've got here is the set of 72 colors. I've had these colored pencils for quite a few years already, but they still pack quite the punch. These colored pencils don't come at this huge price range for no reason. They have a covering power and vibrancy unlike almost any other colored pencil. The simple explanation for that is their wax bases. Most colored pencils are actually based on oil. Especially here on Vegeta's skin, you can already see the insane coverage power. The blends are perfectly smooth and there isn't any little spots from weak coverage in between, unlike on the cheap pencil side. Having a white colored pencil in the set is also a huge advantage. Also, just wondering, do you prefer Majin Vegeta's final explosion against Majin Buu in Dragon Ball Z, or the Neo one, which he used against Toppo in the Tournament of Power? I personally think the Neo one doesn't even come close to the old one. And very importantly, I also got some other really absolutely crazy news. I've got an exclusive drawing masterclass which will teach you everything you need to know about drawing Dragon Ball characters, like anatomy, different drawing styles, and you'll also even learn a lot about color theory and also how to color like a pro, just like this. And soon, very soon, there will be a huge sale like never before. So down in the description below you will find a link to a email waiting list, which will make sure you will have the chance to get this one in a lifetime sale. But now let's get back to drawing. And here's a little fun fact. Editing this video you're watching right now took me so long I actually got to get a new haircut by the time I actually finished editing. And that's all just because I try my very hardest to create the best content I possibly can. You, exactly you who is watching this video right now. You're the reason I'm doing all this, so every single bit of support is appreciated very much. Or even if you just watch this video up until now, that's already crazy. How about you comment limit break to show you actually watched until now. Anyways, all this drawing got me kind of tired. So now it's time to get a little snack at the local supermarket. It's kind of cold in Germany right now, so I can't forget my jacket. And of course, it's important to get in my protein. I've actually got a funny idea. How about I just mix both these drinks? Just for fun and to see how it tastes. Let's see now. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Anyways though, let's get back to drawing. We are so very close to finishing the drawing, and I absolutely can't wait to show you how it's gonna turn out. I can just say, all this work really paid out in the end. And now, just before I'm gonna show you the full final result, I just wanna make some final words about both the art supplies. Since from the analytics I do know you guys just instantly go off the video as soon as you see the final drawing. So, obviously the cheap colored pencils by Faber-Castell couldn't keep up with the high vibrancy and extreme coverage power that the Prismacolor Premier possess. The Faber-Castells of course will never have the same coverage power, but I still gotta say, they really blended extremely well for cheap colored pencils. There are certain other cheap brands with which that would have never been possible. Like with these I didn't even have to press that hard and they really covered well anyways. So if you're really on a budget you can really just get the cheap colored pencils and still be absolutely good. So just like I said before, all the art supplies I used in this video are in a link in the description down below, together with all the other art supplies I usually use. Anyways, I'm really so grateful that you are watching my videos and it really means a lot. But now finally, let me show you the full final result of this drawing.